Welcome everybody to episode 16 of Keesh Goes to China. And in this episode, I'm going to India. And I'm so excited about it. So stay tuned for the little preview before, and you'll get to see the rest of the show. Enjoy. Good morning, everybody. So today's the big day. It's March 20th, and I'll be going to India for the next 8 days. I'm going to be doing the Golden Triangle tour, so I'll be seeing Jaipur, Agra, and some other places. There was a particular place that I really wanted to go, but I don't know because it's too far. There's an area or a people that's called the City People. They are Indians of African descent, and I really want to see them so badly, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it because it is so far away. But I hope to present India to you in a true fashion that will be respected or respectable to the Indian people. And most importantly, I hope that I encourage you through these videos to go out and see the world. It's a great opportunity, and I'm so excited about it. So stay tuned. After a long flight and some good rest, we woke up and we met our tour guide Maninder, who took us to New Delhi. So right now we're heading to Old Delhi, and eventually we'll go to New Delhi.
Completed in 1656, 6 years time to build. And 6,000 workers work here day and night. Everything done by hand. And the whole mosque, again built with red sandstone, comes from Jaipur by animals. Right? And Jama Masjid has 3 gates. First we enter from the northern gate, that is the southern gate, and the eastern gate of the mosque. We call it Shahid, the royal gate of the mosque. Because the King Shah Jahan always enters from this side. From the face of the mosque, always towards to Makkah. Right?
Yes.
And the roof of the mosque is covered with 3 domes with the alternate stripes of black and white marble. And the topmost part of the dome covered with gold. That time when Mughals ruled in India. The British came here.
The mosque was actually so beautiful. We got to see many of Muslims come to pray, because this was on a Friday, I believe. Was it Friday? I think so. I don't remember. Saturday, whatever. But the kids were so awesome. As kids always find me, and they love me up and I love them. And so, but people were so surprised to see us there. Between my hair and Hugh's height, they were just like in awe. But sometimes I don't understand why, because their skin complexion is almost as dark as ours. So for me, that's kind of hard sometimes. Now these cutie pies, they were fighting, and I stopped them and I made them shake hands. So those are my little friends. That's Maninder, who is taking us to the spice market in Old Delhi. Now we got on these little, I can't even call it a tuk-tuk, but this little guy is really strong because he zipped all over the place, and he got us there to our destination safely. And it was very small and narrow. You got to see like real authentic India. Now people would tell me that when I got to India that it would be really smelly and all this other stuff, but it wasn't. At least not in Delhi, and I really enjoyed it. Yes, it was a little filthy, congested, but of all the places that I've been to in Asia so far, I think the best paradise type of place was Boracay. That's always going to be my favorite. But the most place that I enjoyed was India. And so all of this congestion and all of the dustiness and the craziness, honey, give it to me anytime. It was beautiful. I saw a beautiful fabric and beautiful people. It was great. I would definitely, I am planning to go back to India again for the Christmas. So I can't wait because I know that there's so much more to see. Now, here we are coming to this spice shop, and I need to give you some information about this spice shop right here. So check this out first. This Golden Horse Tea Shop. I went through a travel agent or something that I found on TripAdvisor, and they took us here. Compare prices first, because I felt that the spices that I bought was way overpriced. And what they do is they give you all of these things, and I told them to hold off a second, let me look around, and I'll do a subtotal. And they bagged everything up together. And then when I looked at how much it was like almost $200. And when initially I was only expecting to spend $60. So compare your prices, walk around. They took us to this one place first, and that was it. So hear what old dude has to say right here.
Your vegetables, different ones for lamb, different ones for chicken, and different ones for barbecue. So each of them is different flavor, and each of them is different fiber content. They have a different set of combinations to work upon for those particular meals, and this is how we do our foods. But then India is a multicultural habitat with different regions coexisting. So when we make these combinations, we based on different cuisines and cultures. So that's for lentils, for cauliflower, for potatoes, something for butter chicken, rice with lamb, rice with chicken, mashed vegetables.
So after the spice shop, we get in our car and we head over to Millions, Millions too, whatever that said. And this was actually beautiful. We were told that this is the precursor to the Taj Mahal. And here's Hugh and Maninder, like they're BFFs. And that's Amy, my coworker, myself, and my frat brother Hugh. Now, let me say something. India, because of its ancient architecture, and a lot of the roads are very unstable, it is very difficult for people with disabilities to get around. Because, again, some of the steps are uneven and the roads are not leveled. So Amy has a disability, so she was not able to come inside of this area due to the steps. So keep that in mind. You may want to bring a walking stick with you, or one of those little rolling chairs sometimes, because again, it is a lot of walking. But I'm glad that Amy came and she still had a good time, and I was able to show her inside of some places where she couldn't be bothered to hike up the steps. So keep that in mind for you guys with special needs. You can still see stuff, but it's going to be a little bit difficult. And as long as you're with somebody that's patient, you'll be fine. But isn't this place beautiful? We had such a good time, and it was lovely, totally breathtaking. So there I am. Now, this is Uncle Butt, B-U-T-T. Now, he is in charge of the carpet store where I bought my rug. Now, let me say something to you. It seems to be, as far as with the tour guides, when you go, they have their little stores and the merchants that, they agree to bring you there. And you get they get a kickback from whatever you buy. This was the first day that we were in Delhi. And what upset me was that, like, the rugs in this place were like $1,000 and more, depending on size. How could you honestly expect me in my first day in India, I've only seen one place, to literally drop $1,000 or more on a rug? And they give you this spiel about, your family, they give you drinks, they give you beverages, food or whatever, and like there's no pressure to buy, but then they apply the pressure. Now, we kind of G'd each other in the fact that he was really trying to make this sale, and I was like, look, I'm not buying anything right now. I'll come back towards the end of my trip when I get paid again. And they worked it out that they really brought us back there. And I think the rug that I wanted was, the one that I sort of kind of liked was $1,400. and he dropped the price in half for me, but they wanted me to pay for it up front, and I'm like, no, you making me buy this thing not against my will, but I'm gonna pay for it in the way that I want. I will pay it when I'm ready. So I paid a little less than half, and I paid the rest at the end of the month. And so now my carpet has made it to New York. So again, be very careful, stand firm. Tell your tour guides where you want to go. I wanted to go to see the local street bazaars and the market fairs that I heard about, not to these high overpriced places. But I'm still glad that I got the rug because it's good quality. It is pure silk and cashmere, and it will last me a lifetime. And I will always remember the wonderful time that I had in India. So I am not sorry that I purchased it, but I didn't like the way how they made customers feel. So I will be back in December, and trust and believe that crap is not happening to me again. Trust.
Goes itself in 4 different processes. Number 1 is the design. Number 2 is the VU. Number 3 is washing, and number 4 is shaving. You can also take my photograph, no problem. But anytime you want to see me again, go back home, open the channel, send CNN Channel 7 Asia Today.
Okay.
CNN, I'm televised every after 2 months, 3 months they show me.
Okay.
And you can see the whole demonstration of 1-hour documentary of Uncle Bud. So I will look for it. You can never forget me, and you can show to your friends that this is Uncle Bud, who was my teacher for some time. Here, talking about these handmade hand-knotted carpets, as I said to you, first the design, second the weave, third washing, and the fourth shaving. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what it goes in. Now here, in every family, we have a head of the family. That means a person who makes carpet for the last 10, 20 years, he becomes a master designer. Who he designs on a graphical paper. First, what he makes, these red lines. The red lines is the base of the carpet, and the base of the carpet is known as woof. Remember my word. This is woof. The base here.
Okay.
The base is double, front and the back. The base. They take 1/3 from the back, then they make an English figure of 8. They pull it down and cut it. Yes, that's one line.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yes.
Last one. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, that's the way how the cup is going to be.
So whoever
That
buys
is
this,
me.
you can tell them that I did this one right here.
Exactly.
That's important, okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Huh?
So I learned a lot about carpets, and I also learned how they operate, and I'm still mad, but it's all good. So now we drive off to Jaipur, to the Amber Fort, and this place was beautiful. It reminded me of things that I saw at church as a kid about like Jerusalem, and that's exactly what I was picturing, like maybe King David living in a place like this, should I ever make it to Jerusalem or Israel or wherever. There was a lot of people out there, and we were warned ahead of time that merchants will be selling you items and not to buy, because if you do, they will bum rush you. So, and they're selling like postcards and books about the place. So honestly, I didn't really need that. So we made it into the fort, and this is what it looks like. It was a lot of music playing, beautiful colors, bold and vibrant, and many, many people. Now again, here was a place where they did have ramps, but there were a lot of steps, and so Amy, was kind of limited in her mobility. But like I said, it's all good because she got to see some of the video from my camera. This actually reminded me of the Great Wall, even though I've been in China for like 10 months and I haven't even been there yet. That's a damn shame. But it was great to see how the rooms were inside and how wonderful they were. I don't like what I said. I I enjoyed this place. I'm not even gonna front. I really did enjoy our place. That was our tour guide, Vish. We did so many things here. We spent. What did I buy? This lady right here. She got up in the picture with Hugh, and then all of a sudden tried to charge him. And so I was just like, dude, just run. You know, so if you're going to take photographs with people, the locals, they're going to expect compensation, even if you don't ask them, and they just step up in your photograph. So here's Hugh with Jamaica to the World. This place was so pretty. It was cool inside, the colors, it was like so lovely. My photographer, Vish, telling me to stand right there for this photo. We weren't able to go inside this little place. It was roped off, but it's pretty much the same thing like this. Pretty, really, really, really pretty. Wonderful looking place. And we left that area to go to a jewelry store. And so we're leaving now, and we're seeing the elephant on the side of the road, which was cool. And we pulled over because we got to see this building, which is going to be coming up really soon. Now, he wanted me to come so I could pay him to take these pictures. But this is what was cool, and I thought that was lovely. This is the jewelry store that they tried to get us to buy jewelry, and Hugh bought. I didn't buy anything. This was the best place that we ate at the entire time. We made little pieces of naan and chapati, and each one of us got to fling it inside the oven, which was crazy hot. But the waiter was phenomenal. This little Indian lady, she was showing me how to do the rolling pin, and I'm pretty good with my roti and making my pulori and my doubles and stuff. But this was cool. So now I've learned a new skill. That is the crazy cool waiter right there. He was good people's. He gave us good hints on like what to try, and that's the lady who helped me make the roti or the chapati. And there's Hugh and the crazy waiter, and that is our delicious food. Oh my god. Chana. The food was so good, and so was the service, and we had a ball. I would definitely come back to this place, and I'm so angry that I don't even remember the name of it, but it was really great. Off to another mosque, and this one again, thank God they had a ramp and we was able to get up smooth and clear. We went in and we learned that there was somebody's buried in here. I don't remember who, but you can go inside and offer tribute to the person, and you can ask requests for 3 wishes. And so I went inside just to see, and it was just like a bunch of flowers and stuff. But because I had on shorts that were like to my knee, I had to wrap myself in a piece of fabric, so that's what I'm wearing. But I met this dude, and of course I had to pay to take a photo with Brother Man, but I didn't mind. His skin was so beautiful and smooth. And then here we are at the end. Look at them thousands of steps. And this little cutie pie followed us on our what you doing back there? It was a great time. The taxi guy was cool too. And then he let me take a photo with him on the outside. And then the day that I've been waiting for my whole life, we get to the Taj Mahal in Agra. And what a sight to behold. Just look. It's like I was so anxious. I walked through and I kept going and I saw it in front of me, but it didn't seem real. And the closer I got, I was just like, I can't believe that I'm really, really here, you know? And all of these people are just walking and it starts to come into place. And even now, it still doesn't even look real. And then I finally come out of the darkness into the light and I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. It was so it was like beautiful, picture perfect. It looked like a postcard, like I was not even really there.
India, so he was decided to build a more beautiful tomb for the loving wife, for the beautiful wife. And then he was invited the architect from different part of the world. This design, select making, this is Isa Khan design. Isa Khan was a chief engineer and architect of Taj Mahal. He was basically from Persia. So the architecture of Taj Mahal is Indo-Persian architecture, is the mixer architecture. And the basic structure of the Taj Mahal built by the bricks, small bricks used in structure, and the outer wall is covered by the white marble. And the white marble, this one is bought from Makrana. Makrana is placed in Rajasthan, about 400 kilometers from here. So it's a very difficult job to carrying the big block of marble from 400 kilometers. It's another difficult work to cut the white marble because white marble is very hard stone comparison to sandstone and other one.
We got to see the sunrise because we got there about 6:45, and even though when I woke up it didn't feel good, but it was worth seeing the sunrise. So here we are and taking our photos at the Taj Mahal, and it was like a lifelong dream. Couldn't believe that I would ever make it there, and you know, I made it. Now there are some ramps that you can get up if you are disabled, but you can only get to a certain part.
You saw from the distance it looks like a painting, but basically this is the marble in this work. Actually, before the Taj Mahal, in the two places this kind of the art is used in Agra. We can see the other two places like the practice work is there, but in the here is the final work and the refined work is here. And they cut the white marble by the chisels. It's very special kind of chisels to cut, make the cavity, and after then they put in the inside the gems. It's like a semi-precious stones. Is the onyx, is the malachite, cornelian, and jasper. So different colors of stones.
So still exploring the Taj and the beautiful designs and the marble inlay and the colors and the design patterns, how they put it together was crazy. This is actually Arabic script taken from the Quran, and that is the actual tombs of the king and the queen, his favorite wife. And look how beautiful this room was. Very simple, but still elaborate and elegant. You know, I always thought that the palace at Versailles in France was beautiful, but this, I think this takes the cake because Versailles is filled with a lot of gold and a lot of gaudy type of things that was, you know, perfect in that time. But Taj was different. Now these guys, they make marble inlay, and they are descendants of the very same people who did the marble inlay on the Taj way back then. So they took us there to purchase stuff, but we didn't buy anything. Now we're at the Agra Fort, and this one was interesting because, again, a beautiful place. And depending on which room you stand in, you could actually look across from the Taj. Now, if you wanted to take a picture with these people, but they were acting like they didn't want to, but we got the photo. This is Koshan Jr. He was so cute, this little boy. And this dude, he did my eyebrows because I do not do my eyebrows in China. This is the train, the overnight train, the sleeper car, where we were on our way to Varanasi. It was a long trip. I will never do it again. It was too long, but here we go. Still on the train ride going to Varanasi, but it's morning time. Got on the train about 9:30. But look at this view, isn't it crazy? Really enjoying my time in India. It's really great. I hope to come back in June before I go back to the United States. It's a lot of culture, beautiful people, and it's a wonderful time. So, still on the train, and like they forgot to tell us that we were getting off at the last stop, so we never knew when we were actually getting off. And it was just like, oh my God, how is it that we're on the train from 9 in the night and it's like almost 11 o'clock in the morning? It was a good thing that this guy came through on the train selling snacks, and I could just imagine the people who didn't get the sleeper cars, how they had to sit up and jam-packed on the train. It was an experience that I'm glad that I had. Would I do it again? I don't know. I know I said I wouldn't do it again, maybe for not such a long distance, but it was cool, especially if you have good people to keep you company. But there's some people right there, see the dude that was running. But I don't know. I guess it depends on who I'm with, and I'm supposed to be going with a group of ladies this time, so I don't know, maybe. So finally, we get to Varanasi, and Hugh just is waking up. And our first stop, we go to the Tibetan monastery and to see the monks. And it was pretty cool. The colors were awesome. We stayed there for about maybe 15 minutes, kind of like an in and out thing. We had to take off our shoes, of course. And here are the monks inside. And here's a little bit of what they were praying and chanting. Take a look. So it was really cool to see the Tibetan monks in Varanasi. We learned that it seemed to be a place where that's important to many religions, especially Hindu and Buddhism. Now we got to go to a fabric place where I really wish I saved all of my money to buy my saris here. All the saris that I bought were absolutely gorgeous, and honestly, the quality were way a better quality than what I got in Delhi and in Jaipur. So if you're going to Varanasi, go and buy your saris from there. So he's showing us how the machine works, and it was really cool. This is it's a Muslim area, so that was interesting. So they were getting ready to shut down the businesses to go to have evening prayer on Friday, because I definitely remember this was Friday. And these are the young men, the sons of the merchant who I bought my stuff from. And these cutie tooties, they just kept following me. Kids always follow me. I need to have some kids. And we took some photographs together, and we had a good little time before I left. So they posed for me, and check out Auntie Keisha.
Auntie Keisha. Auntie Keisha. See ya. Mwah. See you later. Watch your baby toes. Watch your baby toes. Bye, cutie. I love you. Bye. You're so little. Where's your parents?
On our way to the Ganges River or the Ganga River, and for the first time since we had been in India all week, it really stinks right here. It was like, when Steve Harvey be like, when the funk hit the fan, smell like peanut butter and ham. Well, that's what it smelled like. But it was amazing to me. I didn't mind the smell because this is the area where I taught my students when I would do world religions in Global 1 and 2 at Northeastern Academy. I taught about this place. And it's, for a teacher, it's kind of surreal when you get to see the place that you've taught about, that you only knew through textbook, and trying to illustrate that to children to make that thing come alive. And here I am in the very place that I taught about, and how the Hindus, they bathe in this river because they believe that it's holy. And we came on a Friday, and there was a very special festival. And there's Hugh helping Amy to sit down because everybody was sitting on the steps. Look at my photo bombers. That lady had dreads on the right with the orange thing, so I had to take a picture of her and her locks. But it seemed like we waited forever for this special ceremony to start. And we didn't even really stay for the whole thing because it was taking kind of long to kick off. But those guys in the orange, they were doing like synchronized movements to the chimes and the drums, to like with incense and fire and stuff. So the next morning we woke up at the crack of dawn to take a sunrise boat trip on the river Ganges. And this was this was the best way to end this trip. We got to see the sun come up, and we sailed down the river, and we were able to watch the Hindu people come to bathe and wash their sins away in the Ganges River. And man, it was so amazing. Like, I never ever thought in my entire life that I would experience something like that. I'm from the Bronx, and so not that we should ever dream small, but you never know where your life can take you. And I never really valued my education in the way that it could be a passport for me to see the world. I knew it would get me a job, but I never knew that it would lead me to places like this. Places that I've only ever heard about in books or have seen programs about. And now, here my grandparents, coming from Cuba and Jamaica, gave birth to my mom, who, eventually they migrated to the United States, and I got the opportunity to be educated in being born and educated in the United States. And I'm so appreciative of it because my education allowed me to come this far. And I'm looking at these people, and it's like, wow, all over the world, we all do our own different things. What makes us unique and different, but with that glimpse of humanity, we are all still the same. I look at this man who's washing his clothes in this river, this holy river, that it's filthy, but that's what they do. And I asked our tour guide, why is it so dirty? And it's just like, it's a sustaining force. They put things in there, and they're still living, so it's okay. And I'm like, okay, for that logic. But, never know where your life is going to take you. Now, if you look up top really close, you see monkeys going across. So that was kind of cool. And those are also hotels. Supposedly that pink one to the right, that is probably one of the best places to stay in Varanasi, as I'm told. It was just great. And we see all the people bathing, and at this time, even though it's light outside, the sun still isn't all the way up quite yet. And hopefully you can see it there now. It's beginning to come up. It was a wonderful experience, and I'm so appreciative and I'm humbled that I was able to go. Travel opens up a new way of life for you, because everything that you thought you knew, you realize you don't know anything at all. And here I am offering a gift to the Ganges River. Travel changes your life, and I'm curious to know what's going to happen to me when I go back home to New York, because I am not going to be returning the same person. You know, we're all the same. We're all human. We all have desires. We all have feelings, and where mankind is, or humanity is a thing that we are to cherish. We ought to look at each other as brothers and sisters in this race, in this journey called life. So thank you for joining me, and yeah, that's a random cow. Stay tuned for my next episode of Keesh Goes to China. Later.